Winter can wreak havoc on your skin. Hey, it's Kayla, and it's not just the weather, but as a new mom, I've seen my skin change in ways that I'm not too happy about. But that's where the Skin Center has you covered. Their most popular treatment is Botox because they're the best at it. They've been ranked a top 10 provider in the nation by Allergan Aesthetics, the makers of Botox. And their best facial is what I got. It's the HydraFacial. It exfoliates, extracts, and hydrates all at once. So save your skin from these winter blues and DM at the Skin Center MD on Instagram and mention code Kayla to get $100 off your first Botox or filler treatment or any skincare package.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about podcast. A podcast.
Merry Mini Monday, Chunkies. I'm Carter.
Doge.
I'm Jordan.
We're going to talk about two things today. Spider-Man No Way Home. And,
Okay.
well, we'll talk about that before we get into the Band of Ahsoka Fett.
Interesting.
Which we'll
Band.
talk
Do you mean
about.
book? Do you mean book though?
Band of Ahsoka Grogu Ahsoka Vet. Like, I don't really know what the show is, but we'll talk about it soon.
Yeah.
Neither does Disney.
Neither does Disney. That's the point.
Oh, Carter, I have a food metaphor for you when we get to the Book of Boba Fett.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Is it that the Book of Boba Fett is like the new land, air, and sea sandwich from McDonald's?
No, but that's not bad, actually.
Okay.
What is that sandwich? Talk to me.
Land, air, and sea is a filet of fish, I think a Big Mac and a chicken sandwich.
patty. Yeah.
And chicken
Eating
patty.
like the first 3 or 4 days of Genesis. That's amazing. That's phenomenal.
They just dump you a cup of light too. They just dump a cup full.
That's
of
if one of the great old world eaters arrived on the primordial creation only 3 days after God started his amazing work instead of a full week.
Oh my God. Something that is godly. And I think we are easily forgetting, unless we're in box office ball or things like that. Spider-Man No Way Home is breaking all sorts of records. This was a movie that released, I would say we're still in a pandemic. Obviously not in the throes of it, but doesn't mean people aren't dying and unsafe. But Spider-Man No Way Home domestically in the United States is now 4th all time.
Wow.
It recently passed Black Panther. It's actually passed Black Panther by $37 million. It passed Avengers Infinity War, Titanic.
Wow.
It is looking down, staring down, and very likely going to pass Avatar domestically.
Wow.
Meaning it would only be behind Avengers Endgame and the uncatchable Star Wars The Force Awakens, which almost made $1 billion domestically. When we look at movies worldwide, Spider-Man No Way Home is in the top 6 and is only being beaten by those movies that made that coveted 2 million in theaters. Infinity War, Force Awakens, Titanic, Endgame, and Avatar. So Avatar did much better worldwide than it did domestically. But Spider-Man is 6th all-time.
That's
gross.
pretty crazy.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
And I feel like
Seeing
Marvel
this.
sort of like brute forced that into existence.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
amazing.
Spider-Man's not been, like he's a really popular dude. Lots of folks love him, but he's not been the box office draw of those other, like he has never ever been Avengers Endgame level big. And Marvel just sort of said, well, this one is going to be, and manifested it.
Let's take a look at our next 3 big superhero movies. We're not going to, we'll call it Rank You Very Much.
Okay.
The Batman coming out in March, which everyone knows who's listened to this podcast when that's coming, because it's the end of our Batman series leading
Correct.
up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Correct.
Then we have Thor, Love and Thunder. I believe in that order.
Sounds
Which
right.
of these 3, if you were to rank them on how much you think that they will gross, how would you rank them?
Thor, Doctor Strange, Batman.
Doctor Strange, Batman, Thor.
There's no chance.
There's no chance
I
Batman
say-
makes more than Thor?
There's no chance Thor is not first place.
Oh, fully disagree. There's no chance Doctor Strange is in first place. Carter,
I say
bring in that middle ground.
Batman
They're all first place.
first. Then I say multiverse. Then I say Thor.
You're out of your mind.
Batman
Thor Ragnarok
first,
is like
huh?
Thor Ragnarok is like pretty widely considered everybody's favorite. It has gained more favor after its release.
Right. Which is why there was a trailer for it after the 4th highest domestically grossing movie of all time.
Sure.
That makes
I
more
would say
sense to me.
I would say that's probably because it's the next one to come out.
I think Marvel is pulling from the same playbook. When I say they brute forced Spider-Man into being a big worldwide success, part of that playbook was intentionally, I believe, allowing some leaks to circulate without fully squashing them.
Hold on. I'm just stuck on Carter's logic here. That's like saying that Goblet of Fire is the second best Harry Potter book simply because it came after the first best Harry Potter book.
This was more of a reach at trying to
Hurt me.
diss you. What you're saying is makes complete sense. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I do think that both Marvel movies will beat the DC movie though.
Yeah.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I just don't think DC has the box office numbers Marvel has.
I don't either, and that's been proven with some of those Snyders.
But Batman, I hear you.
But Batman.
The Batman feels the closest to what people loved about Batman. So
Exactly.
did Tom Holland's reboot feel the closest to what people thought about Tobey Maguire, I think.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so it's kind of this, we're seeing what the nostalgia can do in the box offices, and I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Something that's not totally figured out. Let's talk about episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. What does it say? The Stranger from the Desert? I can't remember exactly what the title
a
is.
stranger emerges from the desert or something
A
like that.
stranger emerges from the desert. We literally did a play-by-play of one of the big surprises of this episode.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
I had no idea when I was 2, 3, 4 episodes into the Book of Boba Fett that this would be one of the most unique seasons of a show that I would ever see in my life. It started by me thinking this is going to be one of the most disappointing seasons of a show that I've ever seen in my life. While the Book of Boba Fett felt like it was alongside and after The Mandalorian chronologically, Mandalorian season 2, it caught vibes to me of later Game of Thrones seasons that I was just like, here's another season in a world that was unnecessary. And we did not need this. We should have waited and thought of something better.
But now it's just Mandalorian 2.5.
I'm fully convinced now that Robert Rodriguez was a foot on the back of his head runway as we trample over his prone body for that 2.5 that we're talking about. Because it is almost completely unnecessary to have the first 4 episodes of this season.
Oh, yeah.
It could be argued that it is completely unnecessary to have. I think Mando season 3, if it's 5 episodes, we would get over that. You talk about you could be like, hey, he's going to show up and help Boba out, right? Because Boba has helped him, right?
Sure.
It's like this. That's all we needed. Now all of a sudden, I'm not interested. You could tell at one point near the end of this episode when everybody's in the war room. We've collected our youths, our robo-youths. We've collected this Maximus Decimus Wookieus. And then we've got all these different pieces that we were supposed to feel something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt nothing. I was just
Absolutely
happy
nothing.
Mando was there, and I was almost bummed that Mando's now in this.
I was bummed we were back
know.
there because,
I know.
I would argue that not only is the Boba Fett story unnecessary, but it sort of feels like the Mando story is unnecessary here. It feels like this feels like a sequel to The Mandalorian season 2 that we didn't really need. We can pick up Mando's quest again, whatever that may be,
Sure.
later. But I don't know, man. It just there's no real good reason for Mando to even help Boba. Why is he off running errands looking for foot soldiers for Boba? Why does he go back to Cobb Vanth? Mando's a bounty hunter, right? Shouldn't he be in it for the credits?
Right, bounty hunter, and has been given clear direction to get brought back into the culture that he so long followed.
Mhm.
And
So why is he doing
essentially
any
as
of
faith.
this?
Why is he doing it? Why is he not going to Mandalorian?
Right now.
yeah. There is
Mandalore,
virtually
but yeah, I'm
no
with
Mandalore,
Yeah.
sorry.
there is
There's your
no
bingo spot.
the whole story, like the Boba Fett stuff, is just a black hole that sucks in all momentum of any story that's around it. It's just,
Sarlacc
it's.
pit.
If I may, I teased it a little bit earlier.
Okay, bring me that food.
These are only the opinions of the author of the metaphor. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Two Chunks LLC. The Book of Boba Fett is a lot like your friend who is a chef and once made you incredible tacos, like 9.5 out of 10 tacos straight from their kitchen. And that friend invites you over for a pizza night. And you get so pumped because those tacos were amazing. And if their pizza is even half as good as those tacos, you are in for a good time.
Yeah, why not?
And then when you show up to their pizza night, they serve you dry ham sandwiches on store-bought white bread. And you're eating it and you're like, this, first of all, isn't even pizza. Second
Can
of all...
I guess how the night ends?
Yeah.
Is it like homemade Choco Tacos?
No. It's like you get halfway through your sandwich and then they just turn around and they're like, psych, I made tacos. I forgot to make pizza.
Yeah.
Here's the tacos you liked from last time. I hope that makes up for it. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, I love these tacos. I especially like these tacos better than the ham sandwiches.
I think the metaphor is complete.
Isn't a pizza night.
The metaphor is most complete if the ham sandwich is still in your mouth and they're trying to stick extra taco in your mouth.
Right. They're like,
even though it
very
doesn't
good.
fit or go together well.
They're like, no, it's a prank. It's a prank. Eat the taco. Eat the taco.
Yeah. I know this season is not being produced in real time. Like they don't have an army of poor editors chained to their computer working on next week's episode.
But it feels like they changed their mind.
It absolutely feels like they're like, dang, people really aren't liking this Boba stuff. We better just throw some Mando season 3 in there.
Yep.
That's ready, right?
Yep.
Yeah, our Discord channel has been wonderful. If anything, I almost have to be careful to read our Discord channel as it talks about we have a channel called What You Streamin', and it's talking about essentially the Book of Boba Fett. And I have to be careful not to read that because I don't want it to completely influence how I talk about it. Because we've got amazing opinions.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to wait till after this episode.
Me neither.
I need to start doing that more. But there's been a lot of good opinions in there, and it's just like it's like offended, but like okay, like it's.
That's
I'm
the
still
tricky
enjoying
thing about this.
I had no idea there was a drop on this ride, but
yeah, I finally like. Last week I talked about how I really struggled with that episode just because it's I want to love this because it's more Mando, but this season of Boba Fett sucks. I finally like this, and a lot of it had to do with that Boba once again. Last episode I don't think we saw him even one time. This episode we saw him.
Morrison had no lines last week, and I think one this week.
Yeah, he was there for about 2 seconds this week, which is helping me a lot because I like Tamara Morrison, just not this story of Boba Fett. But our cameos here. Help Jordan enjoy
talk
it.
Hold on those.
Yeah,
let's wait for the cameos, and first have some cameos from our dear friends over in Ad World.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. We make our subs differently because our subs can make a difference. Like our fan-favorite Turkey Bacon Ranch, piled high with tender smoked turkey breast, crispy bacon, melted sharp cheddar cheese, and drizzled with creamy peppercorn ranch. And it's only at Firehouse Subs. Click the banner now to start your pickup or delivery order.
Okay, let's talk cameos. This was chock full of them.
Yeah, this. So Dave Filoni directed this episode. Carter, you want to give that name a swing?
Did he really?
Dave?
That makes so much sense.
Dave Filoni.
There you go. Dave Filoni directed this episode, and Dave Filoni has kind of a history. I like what he does, but he's a bit polarizing as a director because whenever Dave gets on an episode, he's like, hey, I also brought all my other toys. Can I put them in this too? And
Thank
so that's
God
why
he did, dude.
Right? I loved it in this episode.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't fit.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
But it's fine
Doesn't matter
because at
at
least
this
it's something interesting in this show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I was already sold. I'm double sold. She's so
Absolutely
good.
sold. Rosario Dawson is such a good
She's doing
Ahsoka.
such a good job that I was like, did she try and change her voice to sound like
Right.
what a grown-up
Like Ashley
Ahsoka would
Eckstein?
sound up like
Yeah.
at this age? Or is this just what she sounds like? But
Now,
she's perfect.
Weird Luke worked less for me this episode than he did in his like brief appearance at the
I was
end
impressed.
Hard disagree. So my super pump for the series of Book of Boba Fett, and I know that we usually wait for the end, but my super pump of the series for the Book of Boba Fett is the tech used here to bring Luke to life.
Here's what I'm
You're calling
calling.
your shot?
You don't know that yet. What
Don't
if
know
they
what
blow
yet.
you away even more next episode?
That's true. It'd be very hard to because we're back on Tatooine and it doesn't appear that we're going to get another Boba Fett-less Boba Fett, and
Sure.
I don't typically like the ones that have Boba in them.
No, the look is not my problem. Do they have Mark Hamill as the voice?
They don't. So
That's
the
my
tech used to bring Luke to life in both this and in his brief cameo at the end of Mando season 2. For visuals, we used deep fake technology, which basically is a
Creepy as heck.
huge boatload of scans of an actor's face from a certain era that you can then use AI to map onto a living, breathing person and essentially change their face. So on December 21st, 2020, which was about a week or so after the Mandalorian season 2 finale premiered, a YouTube user, a creator who does deepfake style videos called Shamook, uploaded a Luke Skywalker deepfake that looked even better than the one Lucasfilm created. I think the one Lucasfilm did for the last time we saw Luke was not amazing. It worked in the moment, but it couldn't have sustained a full episode like this. Lucasfilm saw Shamook's upload and hired the dude.
Amazing.
So Shamook works for Lucasfilm now and is the one that did the deepfake, led the deepfake team for this. This is, to me, the best deepfake, the best kind of CG presence we've had in a Star Wars movie.
Visually, I completely agree with you. The visuals of it are not my issue at all.
Audio
It does not sound like Luke even a little bit to me, and it's
Audio
driving
is
me
less
crazy.
good. This is an AI. This is not a person recording lines. This is an AI that has been This is an AI that has been fed hours and hours of Mark Hamill, both his lines from the original trilogy, lines from interviews. This is how they did it in Mando finale. I think this is how they're doing it here. They may have cast a sound alike, but if they're using the same tech they used in Mando season 2, just improved years later, this is an AI that's been trained on Mark Hamill's voice, and so that you can control the inflection of these lines, and it's creating waveforms to emulate the way Mark Hamill talked 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And it's creepy.
It spooks me out.
But that stuff is my super pump. That's what Star Wars has always been about, pushing the envelope in terms of how we can tell stories on a screen. Yeah. The original trilogy completely changed the game. The prequels, as bad as those effects hold up, completely changed the game because they were shot almost entirely on green screen, which is a technique that we use in most Marvel movies now. We talked about, I think it was off air, but the Netflix movie Red Notice had to be shot almost entirely on green screens because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which that technology would not exist without the Star Wars prequels. The sequels notably did not really iterate on movie making in any way that has changed the landscape moving forward. But The Mandalorian began to iterate with things like the volume, so they build these sets inside a dome of LED screens with a really, really tight pixel pitch, and they generate the environments in real time using Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so they don't have to use green screens. And then now with the deepfake stuff with Luke and the AI voice, they're continuing to iterate the way that we can tell stories on screen. And that, to me, is the spirit of Star Wars. And that's why you make these movies. You use a relatively simple story and tell it in a way that people have never seen that story before. But that is, to me, like the whole time I was watching, I was like, this is exactly the spirit of Lucas's original Star Wars.
That's sounds bad, though, is the thing.
Doesn't sound awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. It is impressive. Now that I know it's an AI, it definitely is an impressive feat of technology, and I wish they hadn't used the audio portion because it does not sound like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. It's tough.
So there's that. Grogu's here. Grogu's up in this one. He's extra adorable. Definitely choosing the chainmail, just by the way.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. I like
that final scene, we really need to talk a lot about that final scene.
When he was being trained, it was started by one of the first things that we saw in one of Luke's training sessions was for Grogu to jump. Mm-hmm. I leaned up into my seat as if it was an overtime last second field goal. I was like, oh my God, I think this is possibly going to be the cutest thing I've ever seen. And
Was it?
It sure was.
oh my God.
Sure was.
It was so good. We're sticking
It was
with lots of puppeting still, right? Puppeteering. Massive. Wonderful. Love it.
Yeah. Before we move on to talk about the chainmail versus lightsaber decision, I do want to say Cad Bane's in this one.
Dude,
Cad
He's one of
Bane
my favorite
looking
characters.
terrifying
Oh,
live
he's
action.
so spooky,
it's
dude.
so good though, right? Like
Yeah,
I
it's
think
This is the
amazing.
first time. So we saw Duros, his species. We saw them in episode 4. They were unmoving rubber masks.
Yeah.
And we've never seen one talk in live action. That's why Cad Bane's mouth is a little higher than those masks, because this is mostly makeup with CGI eyes. CGI eyes.
Yeah.
CGI eyes. CGI eyes,
Captain.
Captain.
Chem CG.
Whoa, so cool. Was not
Yeah.
expecting
The
Cad Bane at all.
Dude,
reveal-
as soon as I saw the brim of the hat,
Yeah,
I was like,
100%.
it's Cad Bane. It's Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like we hear like the way they chose to introduce him was brilliant. It felt
Yes.
Jaws like, because it's like he's just out there. We're not totally sure. Okay, this is definitely Cad Bane. Here's the bullets around his ankles. It's like, this guy is just
Yep.
full to the brim with ammo. And then the actual brim covering his eyes and then lifting it when he's asked his name.
Yep.
Oh,
Which is very Clone Wars, the like reveal of the eyes.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
eyes and
absolutely.
that.
I mean, it's totally Dave
Goodness.
Filoni, right?
Thank God for Dave Filoni.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
Him and Bryce Dallas Howard single-handedly resuscitating this season of television.
Yeah.
For real.
100%. And
When
we-
that bar blew up, I didn't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care at all.
No.
Yeah. No, I didn't
No.
care.
That was the ice cream maker. That prop that they're carrying is an ice cream maker.
No.
So in Cloud City,
The ice cream.
in Cloud City in 1980, there's a man who is when the Empire is attacking and the camera is kind of all shaking and stuff, they're trying to flee. There's a man who's running through the corner of the frame with an ice cream maker that they tried to pass off as a futuristic prop, and it's clearly just an ice cream maker. So this dude got his own Kenner action figure, and if you're familiar at all with the old Star Wars EU, you know that he had probably a
Probably
50
a novel.
I would say like a 50-paragraph Wikipedia page about his entire life story and how that was the most significant ice cream maker in the whole galaxy, and he was there on a secret mission. But anyway,
And that is why I love Star Wars.
Right.
exactly. But we've included the ice cream maker in every live-action season of Star Wars television ever since. It's
Very
been a
good.
different thing ever since, which is a fun
It's almost
little
like the
nod.
Wilhelm scream a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
it really
so
is.
funny. I love that.
Star Wars is also the first time as a kid I ever heard a Wilhelm scream. So
Same.
that's-
Same.
Someone getting thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
It was the
Yeah.
stormtrooper falling down the
Oh,
elevator
yeah.
shaft in the Death Star for me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Absolutely amazing. Let's talk about Grogu's choice.
Let's talk about attachment.
Grogu's
Why
Choice,
don't we?
my favorite Meryl Streep movie.
Grogu's choice. I think it was smart to have Luke have Grogu choose. That felt wise to me.
I completely disagree.
Really?
It feels cold.
It is, that to me is a total like, are you kidding me, Luke? Is that rules for thee and not for me? Because I know for a fact that he's still in contact with Han and Leia and Chewie, and he's got R2 and 3PO and Lando. Luke
Yeah.
still has friends. Luke doesn't have to choose between his friends and being a Jedi. And the whole reason Anakin fell to the dark side was not because of his attachments, which is what Luke seems to be implying here, but it's because he was forbidden to have attachments and felt a deep primal desire to need attachment anyway, and felt that the Jedi were keeping him from being who he was supposed to be, being attached to Padme.
And he saved his dad because of attachments.
And Luke saved his dad because he loved him, because he knew there was still good in him. Not because Vader demonstrated good, but because Luke loved him and said, I know he's capable of good.
For all we know, is this the first training Luke has done of someone? Am I missing something
I think
completely?
so.
It is, yeah.
I have always thought
the sequels do say that Kylo was the first student, though.
Luke as a character, as a personality,
it
has
doesn't end
been
up being-
in the grand library of personalities in the Star Wars universe, always one of my least favorite, to be honest. And a lot of it is because he just feels against the grain and kind of a like
He's a nerd.
not thinking through things very well. So it fit for me just because it's like the kind of Luke that pissed a lot of people off in The Last Jedi, right? Luke would never do this. In my mind, I was like, I think he would. I think he's just like, when his emotions hit him, he's more like a child, like just stomping and throwing stuff around the room. When his dad got upset, he was a murderer. You know, it's like the differences are
Most of my
it fit
love
for
of
me.
Luke, I've realized as I've grown older, were EU Luke
Yeah.
and how cool he got and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think Beskar chain vest 100% is what's being picked.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's that,
And I think
was it
that is a
supposed to
bit
be
of-
that obvious? Is that bad writing?
I think that I don't know. There's two things that I think about it. One, I think it could be a fake, that Grogu chooses that, and then Luke is basically
Still gonna teach you.
comes to the defensive attachments. That's like, this was a test. Like, I needed to see if your heart is in it, basically, because that's what he's worried about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That's what the worry that he expresses to Ahsoka. And so if Grogu doesn't want to be a Jedi, I don't think Luke is going to force him. I think also the Beskar chainmail, Beskar being the only material that can stop a lightsaber blade, that's damage control because as it stands right now, with Grogu being a student at Luke's Jedi Academy, our favorite whiny boy that we love so much, Kylo Ren, after the sequels, now canonically Kylo Ren probably killed Grogu unless we give him something that can stop a lightsaber blade.
Right.
So
There you go.
I think it's a
Mithril.
bit of damage.
I didn't even think about
bit of damage.
He's now evolved to Frogu. With the
And then he's gonna be Grogantuan at the very
Yes.
end.
anything else to discuss here in the book of Grogu Fett?
Man, it's just Rocky. There's no this Boba and Grogu story is ultimately, or the Mando and Grogu portion of this ultimately really goes nowhere because I don't think they're going to meet up in the finale.
I don't either.
I think they're going to stay apart. They're going to be in the same place they were that we left them in season 2.
I bet we don't see Grogu or Luke again.
I bet so too.
It feels like a big part of. We'll definitely see Grogu again because he's going to choose.
In Mando
not
3,
Book
yeah.
of-
Not next week
okay.
because there's so much to close with
Yeah.
this
That's what I
storyline,
wanted
like the
to
war with the
close with.
Pikes.
Hey,
I
I'll
don't
tell you
think
this. The only thing that could make me interested in what Boba is doing right now
Rancor.
is fighting Cad Bane.
while
and-
riding a Rancor.
And the Rancor that we haven't spent any time with.
No,
I forgot,
three
honestly.
minutes.
The shocking thing is that Boba's story has moved
Machete.
nowhere in the present.
Correct.
Like nothing has happened to Boba Fett in the present.
No.
Yeah.
He's-
Cad Bane's presence here might retcon a deleted scene from the Clone Wars. We were shown a pretty explicit showdown between Cad Bane and Boba Fett in a deleted scene from the Clone Wars that I will not talk about now because I think they're going to just kind of recycle that for next week's episode.
Probably.
Cool. To end today's episode, give me, after we have just hit so many cameos in episode 6, give me one in episode 7. Give me someone that's going to show up here in this last battle. I'm Carter, and I think, C-3PO? Is that possible?
That tracks, yeah.
C-3PO.
Yeah, that would work.
You know, why not?
I'm Doge. In this last episode, Luke flies his X-Wing with baby Grogu in tow back to Tatooine to deliver him to Mando after Grogu chooses the Beskar Mithril chainmail. And they get out of the X-Wing, and Luke is surprised by an appearance from his father's Force Ghost, played by Hayden Christensen, telling him,
Nice.
hey, this whole attachment stuff is stupid. Jedi should be allowed to have attachments.
Here's the only one I would be excited about. I'm Jordan. And
It's you?
it's me.
You appear?
Rex.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that very much.
I think that would be super cool.
From Toy Story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Is Wallace Shawn still kicking?
I hope so.
I didn't do it. If he's not, don't say it like that.
Jordan, what have you done with Wallace Shawn?
Is he?
Oh, yeah, he's alive.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so maybe they got Wallace Shawn. Maybe Rex is there.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Granger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.